Hello guys, Mr. Shockwave King. Oh, yeah, okay. Hello guys, Mr. Shockwave King. I'm back once again. And yes, you saw the title of the video. And yes, I bring this to a question because Kaidos scales is sure is something, but recently Kaido has been savagely attacked by the vicious evil red scabbage who now attacks Kaido for no apparent reason. Well, what have Kaido done to deserve such mistreatment? Well, he took over an entire country. It was Odin who left his country behind. He is directly responsible. It was Odin who chose to dance in the middle of the entire ballroom and chose to leave his people behind. Why must Kaido be punished for something that he has done? But aside from all the jokes, yes, Kaido has recently been stabbed. And the reason why this is interesting, or just bring up the topic of conversation to the video of Kaido's scale, because we haven't seen a passive ability like this since Marco the Fire Phoenix, where he can nearly infinitely regenerates. But besides from Marco, nobody else, absolutely nobody else, and I do mean to stress that nobody else has a passive ability like that. Saying Goku don't have a passive ability like that. Nobody else, besides from one of the mystical zone, has a passive ability where their double fruit will affect their actual body, no matter what form they're in. And the reason why it's interesting is, even Kaido himself was questioning why he wasn't stabbed, and it goes into the question is just, if it really was just a devil fruit, if a devil fruit was all it took, unless Kaido's some type of fish man, they should have drowned him. There is no excuse of why they didn't want to drown Kaido. I know it's a common thing throughout the community. They say, oh, they bring up the drowning thing. What if, let's just assume they did try to drown him. And what if drowning him did nothing? So it would go into a fact that it's not a devil fruit. Because the way Kaido's scales work, and the way it's explained by Luffy was hitting Kaido in his dragon form. And he didn't bring up anything about, oh, he wasn't doing any real damage to him. But even this regular form it just brings in the question of just what is Kaido in general. Because like his scales, it's not the fact they're inconsistent, it's just what makes Odin be able to stab and hurt Kaido but nobody else? Are you telling me that not one singular marine, nobody was able to scar Kaido besides from Odin? Why? Why nobody besides from? I understand that Odin is a great swordsman, but really, it makes no sense of how nobody else, no Marines, Whitebeard, Big Mom, nobody else, because Kaido has been defeated 7 times officially as a pirate. Nobody else in all these years, 20 years later, has been able to scar Kaido. And even then, at most, what they gave him a baby scratch and that was it. Didn't really do any major damage to him. So it just. I mean, also, I don't believe that they all stabbed him. Some people saying they all stabbed him. Because as far as I know, it only implied that, in my opinion, that Kinemon was managed to stab him. But it gotta be something more than just having army high. It has to be. Because like people like Whitebeard and anybody else should be able to scar Kaido and they can't. No one questioned why Kaido has only been defeated several times. Who are these people who defeated Kaido that many times? How come nobody else have tried anything different to murder Kaido? I don't care how inhumane it is. This is pirate, and this is naval warfare and piracy. I talk about the same pirates in real life who would drag somebody underneath their ship and let them drown and get eaten up by the barnacles. Some of those type of pirates. Really? So it's just like so killing somebody with brutality, especially in a pirate type time period, it wouldn't mean anything. Because guillotine, besides from getting executed with a sword, is a nice way to go, honestly. It really is. Quick, painless, nearly very, very easy. It's better to get your head chopped up than hanging. Apparently, some guy who was like a torturer during like the 1700s. So it was just like, if that's the case, then how come when they tried to spear him, it did nothing? Number one, it's rather the fact that Kaido was too heavy, or just why wouldn't they be able to hang Kaido? Why? Like, it's not like they have any problem killing giants. Or showed up and then he was basically gonna need some serious medical assistance. So it's not that they can't deal with giants at all. But it's just like with Kaido, he's such an anomaly. He's such an unusual specimen. In my opinion, there's no way you can call him human. It's just not. Because it's like the way his body works and how his scales works, it makes no sense. To a degree. Because aside from the fact we haven't seen what his hybrid form would look like, he has these scales, and they work passively all the time. And it seems like nobody else has been able to stab him or cause a major scar besides from two people. Kinemon and Odin, and there's no reason for that. Even Kaido was surprised that he was actually able to get pierced like that. Even he was. And plus, even then, when people bring up Odin scarred and Kaido, no one brings up how the fact it was just Odin was getting his ass whooped during the beginning of the fight. He was getting beat. And then just out of nowhere, Odin just managed to cut him, and that was pretty much it. That was actually how it happened. And then the old woman between the beat Nobusuke got Odin knocked out, and that's pretty much how the fight ended. Because sure, I'm not gonna say that the anime's not gonna build things up and not gonna expand upon what happened. Well, the best way they're tried. Maybe they get some insight from Odin, maybe they're not. But to me, it's one of those things where just the way Kaido works and operates, the way he is by default, there is no way this man is a normal human being. There is no way he's an Oris giant, because even Oris are able to get beaten, get shot up by some cannonballs and bleed, and get hit by the ultra shot. But with Kaido, his body does not work like that at all. It's like he's a different being all entirely. And I don't think him being drunk have anything to do with it, because he wasn't drunk when he fought, when he planned on going to Odin Castle and murder everybody, and when he legitimately fought Odin, he wasn't drunk then. So it had nothing to me. I don't think it had anything to do with him being drunk. But it gotta be something else. It gotta be something else. It gotta be like an extra layer of understanding that we don't have. Because Kaido's scales does not make any sense. Because number one, they work as a passive ability no matter what form he's in. Because when Luffy said beat up on the scales, he wasn't referring to Kaido in general, not for him as dragon form. When he displayed the old man hero, it wasn't just for Kaido in his dragon form. It was just for Kaido, period. So who else has scales that's a passive ability? As far as I know, who else have a devil fruit flower that's a passive ability like that? Even Katakuri gotta manually phase his body out the way. And I've seen no other character in One Piece. I'm not gonna act like I've read every single chapter, but I've seen no other character, as far as I know, or anybody else who has a devil fruit that works like this. I personally don't think it's a devil fruit at all. Like, no matter which way you look at it, you can't really explain it. You can't break it down in some type of logical way. You can't really make it make sense to me of how a devil fruit can do this. You know, everything. How do we even been over 2 people in the history of Kaido living to actually be able to stab him? How come Kinemon is able to stab him, but not Marines could not? And how does a person with a devil fruit get away from a prison ship on an island? And the reason I said it is, if he was on the prison ship being transported, he should have had sea stone cuffs. And if that was the case, and he got away by himself, how did he get away by himself with sea stone cuffs on? His Zoan form should not have been able, he shouldn't have been able to go into his Zoan form at all. Unless it's not a Zoan form. I still believe that Kaido's a dragon. There's no other way to explain it. It's just the way Kaido works and operates, it's nothing normal. It's nothing normal. And then you get into the whole thing, why would Kaido be depressed? Why? He got an entire country to himself, he got a massive pirate crew. Why does Kaido want to die so badly? Since the whole theory of, oh, Kaido got a son and he's actually dead, and all that, since that's been thrown out of the window 100%, why does Kaido want to die? Why? To me, that's an intriguing question. That's something that, it shows up in a plot and just everybody just let it get away from it. It just doesn't matter anymore. I understand there's some interesting things happening in the chapters, and this Scab is gonna confront Kaido. It's just like, even when they stabbed Kaido, it was so minuscule when he turned to a dragon form, unless he didn't show that part of the body. You couldn't even see that he was even damaged in the first place. So it's almost like they pretty much did nothing, in my opinion. And not too many people watch this video in the first place, but this is just strange. This is odd, because no one talks about this, no one questions. It's just I understand these answers are gonna get revealed eventually, but the way Kaido works and operates his entire body pretty much makes no sense. Just like how him and the numbers are all nothing but a bunch of alcoholics. Why? Well, really, this is why. Because it's at a certain point, when the cirrhosis and liver failure comes to the degree, like when you drink that much, you got eventually your liver gotta give up. Eventually, your liver gonna get out or you're gonna die. That's your only two solutions. But then again, that doesn't have to be an aspect in the story. But back to the whole scales thing. Could Whitebeard break through Kaido's scales? Could Big Mom do it? Could Garp do it? Cause like, recent people are saying in the recent chapters, oh, Whitebeard could have betrayed the Rock's pirates. Okay, that's one. They still had like 6 other members. Really, that's all you got? You got Whitebeard, Roger, and Garp versus Rocks and the rest of his crew. Axehand Morgan, Wang Ji, Golden Shiki, Big Mom, Kaido. And he just so happened to defeat them, like Whitebeard, that much of a game changer. I'm sorry. If you believe that Whitebeard's crew is the strongest crew, you might need some help. I give you the fact that he might have a better quality of soldiers, but overall overwhelming force, that's Kaido. That is Kaido by default. Have you seen this crew? Most of this crew has devil fruits. They're not just cannon fodder. Most of them have devil fruits. Most of them are gifters. And then there's gifters, then there's top level gifters. There's the Flying Six. There's the headliners, all of them. And then there's the top 3 commanders. So it's just like, there is no way Whitebeard had the strongest pirate crew in the entire series. You done lost your mind, in my opinion. Like, even like with characters like Diamond Doji, you didn't see a lot of them. What did he really accomplish? Besides from blocking an attack from Mihawk. That was it. And they talk about the Yonko commanders being able to like do something serious. They're doing what? Pull like this: a Yonko commander the right hand man Yonko commander is strong enough to become a pirate king or become a Yonko. That's the way it goes. Everybody else is nowhere close to that level, or just slowly just go down a level. It Katakuri's like a 98, Smoothie's like a 96, and Cracker's like a 95. There's nowhere that close to each other, because Crackle just have a biscuit army. Pretty sure he can make himself a biscuit ship and can make his entire pirate crew. It's just chooses not to, but it's just Kaido. Cause like now we start getting more and more interaction between Kaido and his crew. It's not like Kaido seems sad. It's not like Kaido seems happy either. And the fact that he keep on referring to Yamato as his son, it kind of makes you wonder, was he expecting a boy in the first place, and what Yamato was just extremely disappointed, or that he just started calling him his son when Yamato decided to claim that she was going to be Odin. Oh, you actually tried to kill me, Dad? I no longer consider you to be my father. So he killed your inspiration and take over the entire island. That was fine. That was just fine. He was over here mistreating the entire population and smacking them up. That was fine, but he attempted to potentially blow your arms off. Now, Father, that's going too far. That is go. You didn't have to do me like that. You didn't have to do me like that, Pappy. You're supposed to be my dad. You did this to me. How could you? Out of all things, the thing that breaks the camel's back, the one straw that breaks the camel's back was not the over like what 10 years, over like 10 plus years of mistreatment by Kaido, but the fact that he actually tried to blow your wrist off if you chose not to listen to him. That was going too far. Everything else is just fine, right? Keeping you in prison on Inukashima, that's fine. Keeping them handcuffs, and everything else is fine. But like going as far to attempt to blow my arms off, you're going too far. Another thing is, so we haven't seen Kaido and Yamato directly confront each other. There is no way the arc is going to end now. To a certain degree, I don't know. I think to a certain degree, Kaido is extremely disappointed with his own child. And I doubt he's drinking because he's missing like some type of wife or mistress. But it's just... Yeah. And I still prefer the theory that Kaido thinks he's the last of his kind. pretty sure. Cause like there are no more dragons in existence. And if Kaido is actually a legitimate dragon, because also besides from King, we have seen no other devil fruit that have a passive ability that cause weather change. Nobody else. Jack the Drought get his name purely because of him stomping out the plant life. Queen the Plague get his name because he's a brilliant scientist when it comes to chemical. No, he's a brilliant chemist, and like an engineer. I guess you can call Queen the Scientist as a crew. But with King, I don't know. He's particularly on fire. I still believe he's into that BDMSM. Like there's no way to explain that fire. He has to be lighting himself on the fire. It looks like he's already inside a gimp. Like, it looks like he's actually wearing regular clothes. But under that he's wearing a gimp suit. I don't know. And the fact that he looked like he used to work at Impel Down makes no things better since Mistress Sadie's there. So it brings up a lot of questions. But it's just a lot of things that Kaido makes no sense at all. But if he was a dragon, it would make sense. It really would. So if that was the case, then if the whole thing what Ryuma did was cutting a dragon, which is a magnificent thing, then we could say that Odin is just Ryuma 2.0. Because it seemed like nobody else was able to cut dragons before Ryuma did it. It was just a magnificent thing that, you know, when he's able to cut dragons, well, pull everybody back, retreat. He's able to cut dragons. Which I don't see why him cutting dragons would be a major thing. But then again, if dragons used to be held to that type of Shota status, it would make sense. So it's just, it would make sense. It would. Cause like unlike with Big Mom, who's just like a giant, who's born without that power. Yeah, Big Mom is also like a powerhouse anomaly. It's not like Whitebeard and Shanks, like the only two Yonko that we know of currently that had like a normal life. It seems like Kaido and Big Mom are just one moment they're regular, and the next moment they're on top just like that. Then again, Odin was the same way, but it's just one of those interesting things because it's like the way Kaido walks around, the way Kaido drinks, man. Because like Kaido's drinking is to the point that him being drunk in a fight doesn't mean anything to a certain degree, in my opinion. Cause sure he was able to fight better and more with a clear head, but we're talking about a man who drinks casually. I doubt like a few shots of sake can make this man drunk anymore. I'm sorry, that's not happening. And especially for his size, roughly about 24, 26 feet tall, nah, he's not getting drunk after a few bottles, nah. Little gourd he's carrying around, that's not getting him drunk. Maybe after like a 3 refills that's getting him drunk. But just one good old chug of that, nah, that's not happening. Doesn't happen at all, Cause it has to be some type of form of extreme depression. Aside from Big Mom being like a 68-year-old child and Whitebeard being an orphan, I'm pretty sure Kaido's mental illness is just outright depression. I'm pretty sure he's the loneliest man alive. And there's pretty sure that there's little things that make this man happy. You don't really see Kaido smile too often at all either. I'm not saying that every character has to smile or grin like he's Doflamingo or somebody like that, or he's Monkey D. Luffy saying the classic "I'm gonna kick your ass" line. But it's just, when have you ever seen Kaido actually enjoy himself at all? Have like a genuine smile. What? Cause I doubt Yamato used to be imprisoned for her entire life. But there had to be like a certain change that happened within Kaido to actually cause the entire event to happen. So it's just, I do believe that Kaido's the saddest man alive. Cause the way he acts, the way he walks around, the way he carries himself, is just, sure he wants all this pirate crew and everything else, but it's all just a means to an end. He's just basically just a way from another way to kill himself, really. Cause let's just say he does take over the world, and even if Big Mom turn on him, and let's say Big Mom loses or just turn out to be a draw, I don't think Kaido would care too much. I think the Beast Pirates, besides from King, Queen, and Jack, and I'm pretty sure King might have some type of backup plan in case Kaido does die. I'm pretty sure it's just a one-way train to them all dying. Like seriously, there is nothing else. Kaido plans on bringing him and his crew down with him. He plans on dying. Whatever final war happens. I'm not saying that Kaido can't die. The thing is, Kaido wants to die. He's probably the saddest man I've ever seen. Cause it's like, so some people might play it off some type of monstrous feat, but the way he drinks, the way he cries, the way he weeps, everything else, this is not a happy man. This is not a man who wants to live anymore. He honestly is contemplating suicide as a last resort. He is to the point where he wants to start a war with the world, Aside from maybe finally accomplish what Rocks wanted, which was destroying the world government or just finding One Piece in general, besides from that, after all that, there's nothing after all that. You realize that nobody talks about how they're going to control the world, how they're going to break everything out. Oh, they give that big speech with Big Mom. That's what he's just telling Big Mom. Big Mom know how depressed this man is. So he's been a power crew for like what, a good 8, maybe 5 years. I doubt the Rock's powers just lasted for 2 years. I say 5 to 6 years at maximum for them to actually get their name up, and then they split off. And that was the case then, especially according to the Odin flashback, that it lasted for a few years before they disbanded. It's just, she don't know how these mans act, and I'm pretty sure she know why Kaido's depressed also, to a certain degree. She might not know the full story, but I'm pretty sure Kaido might have brought it up once, and then Kaido got beat on by Rock for showing weakness. It's just, nah, you don't show weakness around here. You don't show weakness. You don't cry or weep around here. I could be wrong, but it's just, yeah. It's all about the way the characters act and that are portrayed. Cause it's just look at them. Look at them. Cause like, honestly, if you look at Jack the Drought, look at Kaido's crew. Look at his crew. Before we get back to the whole scales thing, before we wrap this up. Kaido's crew, Jack the Drought, he really has no purpose in life. He is Kaido's right hand to do man. When Kaido want a job get done, or you get made fun of by King and Queen, yeah. But when it refers to people actually going out to the field, nobody else, from what I can tell, actually go out into the field besides from Jack. At all. So, like, they might get sent out there for backup, but when it's like a guy that Kaido could say, oh, you know, I need you to do this and that. Jack is the guy he calls upon. He's the guy who always leaves. He's the guy who actually had like a legitimate, like, trunker down pirate crew. Unlike everybody else, there was like Queen. Well, he has Babanuki, he has Solitaire, but those are just really people just help him run the prison. That's not really a part of his crew. Nigga like Babanuki is. But King don't really have nobody. The Todoroki is the most unreliable group ever, because they're a bunch of ex-captains who are gunning for their spots anyway. Well, you could argue that maybe to a certain degree. Maybe. Because I'm pretty sure Queen is like the most strategic and smartest individual out of the three of them. I'm pretty sure King knows Kaido's entire plan. I'm pretty sure King has no interest in living either. If that was the case, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Because the way Big Mom's applying, he's also a last one in one species. This King does not want to die. Yeah, he's okay with being the last one of the species. He has no problem with that. But Kaido can't take it. I don't think he can take it. Because he don't act like he's happy at all. Oh, but you can see him smiling and grinning. Yeah, with these upstarts. But what was him doing before the, like, pre-time skip? Honestly, what was he doing? What was Big Mom doing pre-time skip? Because we know Shanks is just a part of the machine, but what was everybody else doing? Everybody else was just the usual pirating thing, and Kaido was just like, he's the only one with intentionally wanting to die. And if Kaido dies, then King's the next runner-up, and King's just gonna be pretty much doing whatever he wants. Does it seem like when Kaido is off drunk somewhere? It could be a case that Kaido sent down an order, and it does seem like that. It does seem like that. Because out of everybody in the pirate crew, it seems like when it comes down to orders, it's just anything from Kaido to go out to any other subordinate. It goes from King, it goes from Kaido, the All-Star Calamities, the Flying Six, the Headliners, the Gifters, the Pledgers, and the Waiters. That's pretty much the way it goes down, in my opinion. If that's the case, then it would be too surprising that it'll be King or Queen telling Jack, you gotta go do this and that. Like King or Queen telling Jack, you gotta do this and that. I'm not saying like Kaido would never give the order directly down to Jack, but the way King and Queen just like, oh, you failed again, huh? You done did it again. How come you said you just can't do anything? The funny thing about it, Jack came back after Joe, and Kaido doesn't seem like he was mad at all. Because the way he was just standing up next to Kaido when the Todoroki was there, just like, I'm pretty sure Kaido was hurt to a certain degree, but he wasn't mad at Jack as far as I know. He didn't show any anger towards him, or resentment, or you're gonna have to answer for what you've done. It's not like a Bellamy and Doflamingo relationship. So it's just like, But so to sum it all up, Kaido would be like, we could argue that maybe the whole scales thing does affect whatever ability that Kaido has. But that wasn't the case for Odin, so I doubt it was with Odin. It gotta be something else. It gotta be some type of technique or some type of move that Odin knows. That from whatever that guy from that One Piece one shot. Yeah, it's Rezuma. He has to know some type of technique to kill a dragon. The way he is explained, he decapitated one. Is just, oh, Zoro did the exact same thing. We can't really say that's the same caliber of dragon that Ryuma went up against, because that was a clone. So like how Vegapunk made a successful smile fruit, and they have all these drawbacks to it. So, and even then, even Kaido's crew cannot perfect the fruit itself. I say Momo got the best version of the fruit itself. Okay, with the smiles, I quickly touch on this, because it seems like to a certain degree, the smiles is what it's interesting, because we don't know if there's different to a certain degree. I think there could be like different calibers of smile fruits, as in, hey look, this is a top tier ability that's excellent, because I would doubt that some of them gifts just rock around that hybrid form just because there's no real point of that. It's just, if they had full devil fruits, then why do that? Because like, if that was the case, then why didn't Sheephead just walk around like that all the time? And he didn't. So I do believe that there are different caliber of smile fruits, even though it's like a 1 out of 10 chance that it would work in the first place. Because like with the armadillo guy and the alpaca man, it's just like, we really want to walk around like that all the time with the alpaca head on top of your body. How come Baba Nuki got a legit elephant on his chest? That's an actual live elephant. But I think I'll save that for another video. But then when it refers to Kaido, our good friend, I do believe there's something up with his scales. I do believe that there is something to actually get through Kaido's scale. Because when Kaido got cut by Odin, number one, can you really call like underbelly of a snake's scales? Because that's why he got cut when it's underbelly. So does that even count as hitting Kaido's scale? Like, I guess it does, because it still carries on to his human form anyway. So I guess this does still count. But to sum it up, aside from Kaido being the most depressed man in the world, in my opinion, Kaido's scales are unusual with their passive ability. It makes no real sense of how they're able to do that just by themselves all the time, all day, every day. Like it's just some type of casual, minute thing that anybody can just do and achieve. What that Kaido can just do, just have the scales automatically. All day, every day. All day, every day, just got the scales. Now I couldn't say we haven't seen Kaido use any haki at all, but he hit Luffy with haki. No. Did he hit Luffy with haki, or that was just the haki reacting after Kaido's commando? I mean, yeah, that pretty much been the video. That's pretty much been my entire thoughts about Kaido and the scale problem. Because it's just, Kaido is just such an interesting character to a certain degree, and certain aspects just get overlooked just because. Like, he was defeated 7 times as a pirate. He has been captured over 40 different times. It makes you question, did Kaido constantly turn himself in towards the end? Did he? Because that was the case, I'm pretty sure King was running the joint after that. It should be an argument between King and Queen, but it's more like a brotherly argument over why you gotta take over things and I can't. Because Kaido got some deep That's the thing. Jack is the most reliable field man, but when it comes to running the overhand pirates operations, you only go to one person. And that one person is King. King can solve all your problems. In my opinion. So yeah, guys, that's been pretty much it. That's been basically my video about the land, sea, and air, the almighty, quote-unquote, god of Wano, outboard Kaido. Hope you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and what do you think is the whole idea with Kaido's scales and how he's been defeated and how he's been betrayed to the story? If you're bored with Shockwave King, hope you enjoyed the video, and peace.